Now next one, the next major, very important concept for the interview room especially. And I make sure you people should aware, right? Very, very important concept for interview room. So keep submitting marker interface. Marker interface. Marker interface. Marker interface. Okay. Sir, can you tell what is a marker interface? Whatever the knowledge you have, can you spell out so that I can correct if any mistake is there? The interface which doesn't contain any method. The interface which doesn't contain any methods is a marker interface. Are you getting? Sir, I have one interface X. Now legend this one. Sir, I have one interface X. This interface doesn't contain any method. Is it a marker interface? Yes or no? It doesn't contain any method. So it's empty interface. Is it a marker interface? No. So then how you can use the word interface doesn't contain any method is a marker interface? If it is the case, it should be a marker interface. You are getting? But I'm sure no one is going to accept this one is the marker interface. Yes, it's not also. So can you tell what is marker interface? Here most of the people should aware. Most of the people aware. Only first half of the definition. Second half also you have to highlight. If an interface doesn't contain any methods, so first rule 1, whatever you told is the same. If an interface doesn't contain any methods, and condition 2, and by implementing that interface, if our objects will get some ability, are you getting? By implementing that interface, if our objects will get some extra ability, such type of interfaces are called marker interfaces, right? Are you getting? So if an interface doesn't contain any methods, and by implementing that interface, if our objects will get some ability, such type of interfaces are called what? Marker interface, right? Are you getting? Sir, can you please give an example? Maybe a chance to ask. Here say this one. Observe, sir, my interfaces are, okay, this is serializable. Best example, legend, serializable interface. Serializable. Do you know, by implementing serializable doesn't contain any method, it is a marker interface, I'm sure. Sir, serializable, by implementing serializable, what ability by default we are going to get? Sir, our object, I have an object is there. If the object class doesn't implement serializable, I can't save this object to the file. I can't send this object across a network. If you want to save this object to the file, or if you want to send this object across a network, compulsory the corresponding class should implement serializable interface. So if the class implements serializable, then my object is going to get a serializable ability. We can able to save this object to the file. We can able to send this object across a network. If you want this ability for your object, for the corresponding class should implement what? Serializable interface. Similarly, clonable interface. Clonable interface. Sir, I have an object is there. I want to produce exactly duplicate cloned object. So if you want that, the corresponding class should implement clonable interface. If the class doesn't implement clonable, I'm sure is nothing but if it doesn't implement, that object doesn't have clonable ability, you can't call clone method on that object. By mistake, if you are calling clone method, then immediately we are going to get clone not supported exception. Are you able to understand that? If you want clonable ability for your object, compulsory the corresponding class should implement what? Clonable interface, right? Okay. Clonable interface doesn't contain any method and it provides some ability for our object. That's why it is the marker interface. Don't feel clone method is available inside clonable. Clone method present in object class but not in clonable interface, right? Similarly, random access. random access. Next, single thread model. Okay, so at a time my servlet object can be accessed by only one thread. Single thread model dot. Are you getting? Sir, all these interfaces, these are marked. Have you observed the word marked? These are marked for some ability. These are marked for some ability. That's why these considered as marker interfaces, right? Marked with some ability. That's why these interfaces are by default considered as what? Marker interfaces, right? Are you able to understand? Sir, can you tell what is the marker interface? Simple. If an interface doesn't contain any method, and by implementing that interface, if our objects will get some ability, such a type of interfaces are called what? Marker interfaces, right? Sir, can you give an example for marker interface? Like these many examples are there. First, add. If an interface doesn't contain any methods, if an interface doesn't contain any methods, and by implementing that interface, if our objects will get some ability, if our objects will get some ability, such type of interfaces are called, if our objects will get some ability, such type of interfaces are called marker interfaces. Such type of interfaces are called marker interfaces. Interfaces are called marker interfaces. Example, add serializable, clonable, random access, single thread model, single thread model, etc. These are marked for some ability. Better to write as it is, whatever. These are marked for some ability. Okay, that's all. Are you able to understand? Sir, what is the marker interface? Can you give an example for marker interface? Like, sir, can you spell out what the definition you took? Read once again. If an interface doesn't contain any methods, and by implementing that interface, if our objects will get some ability, such type of interfaces are called marker interface. Such type of interfaces are called marker interface or ability interface. Better to write marker interface or ability interface or tag interface or tag interface, because tagged with some ability. Tag interface, marker interface or ability interface or tag interface. Tag interface. Sir, can you give an example for that? Serializable, clonable, random access, next a single thread model. These things are by default considered as marker interfaces, right? Next, example 1. Better to write 1 or 2 examples. Example 1. At example 1. By implementing serializable interface, our objects can be saved to the file. Our objects can be saved to the file. And can travel across the network. Are you getting? So by implementing serializable, my object is going to get some extra ability or not? Yes. Next example 2. By implementing clonable interface, by implementing clonable interface, by implementing clonable interface, our objects are in a position, our objects are in a position to produce, our objects are in a position to produce exactly duplicate, our objects are in a position to produce exactly duplicate cloned objects. Our objects are in a position to produce exactly duplicate cloned objects. Exactly duplicate cloned objects. Exactly duplicate cloned objects. That's all. Sir, that's all. Random access single thread model not required. Just basic idea you have to get. Are you able to understand, right? Sir, can you tell what is marker interface? Can you give an example for the marker interface? Like, okay, this is next. For majority of the people, the doubt is, there is a big doubt is there. For majority of the people, even in the interview room also you can expect this question. Marker interface doesn't contain any method. Sir, without having any methods, how the objects will get some ability? Are you getting, sir? By implementing serializable, you are going to get some ability. By implementing clonable, you will get some ability. But these interfaces doesn't contain any method, but how the objects will get some ability, that thing is also very important. Better to take question form. Without having any methods, how the objects will get some ability, in marker interfaces, how the objects will get some ability in marker interfaces, how the objects will get some ability in marker interfaces, objects will get some ability in marker interfaces, marker interfaces, how the objects will get some ability in marker interfaces. Okay, that's all. Sir, how the objects are going to get some ability if it is in the case of marker interfaces, right? Simple rule you people should aware. Let me create one small analogy so that you can able to understand clearly, right? Sir, assume you people are learning Java. After completing this Java learning, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, maybe after completing total Java course, you have to start your trials. Maybe with experience or fresher, you have to start your trials. Sir, can you tell where you can start your trials? Where you will start your trials after completing your course? Where? In Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai, Pune, like where you can start your trials? Anywhere means Edo place. You have some idea in your mind, right? Where you want to start your trials? Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad only. Noida. That's all. Mumbai also best place to get the job easily. Less competition, more opportunities. Okay? Mumbai also. Any other? That's all. So everyone in the classroom, if I can ask out of 1,000 people classroom also, 1,000 students are there in the class, everyone is going to tell, sir, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, Noida, Mumbai, like this type of things. Now my question is, why don't you start your trials in the New York City? Don't laugh. Why don't you start your trials in the New York City? Or why don't you start your trials in the California? Or at least in the London? At least in the London? Why, man? Think a bit. Even, I'm sure, at least in your dreams also, this type of dream you never got, I hope. Correct, right? Starting the trials in the New York City, at least in your dreams also, you may not get that. So, do you know, in this April, I'm traveling to US. So, for checking new opportunities in the business, and then maybe June or July or something like after few months, I want to travel to London also. So, to check any new opportunities are there in this training areas and so on. Okay, this is, yes, I have clear plans are there about that one. Okay, this is, I thought already I have plans in my mind. So why don't you start your trials in the New York City? Or why don't you start your trials in California? Why, man? Ayyo, why? Can you tell? Whatever the problem, whatever the restriction you have, can you spell out? No issue. Can you spell out any problem you are facing? Highest common problem for most of the people is vitamin M problem. Are you getting? Vitamin M problem. M means money. Okay, ఏ vitamin లేకపోయినా there is a tablet. Okay, but this vitamin is nothing but must be mandatory. Take special care about this M, very important. Vitamin M problem, money problem for most of the people. Sir, other than this, do you have any other problem? Good. Majority of the people facing, sir, passport and visa problems. Some people may not have the passports. Some people, visa problem is nothing but maybe. Even passport is there, visa problem may be a chance. Any other? Language problem. You should not use this word being MCR engineering student. Prapancham, luckily the British people gave a big gift for us, English language. Okay, big British people. So while leaving, British people, they gave a big gift for Indian people is language, English language. Is nothing but in the small chota villages also, red bus villages also, English medium is nothing but very common. Okay, this is very common. We never going to worry about language across the globe anywhere. Don't use that word. Okay. Any other problem? Yes. Correct. New environment. So how that environment will be there, we don't know. It's nothing but new environment. Some people new environment problem, like because new environment is his intention is no one is there to provide support. No one is there to provide guidance. So I can use the word the same thing, guidance problem. Correct or not? Guidance. No one is there here. If some problem is there are several friends are there, but there may not. Are you getting? Any other? Ayyo. That's all. These are the only problems. Any other problem? Food problem. Okay. Don't think too much about food, man. Food problem. Okay. Already Indian people habituated to eat Chinese food, North Indian food, or otherwise. So US, all these people, if you go for KFC, almost everywhere you can see. Okay, Domino's, everywhere you can see across the globe. Not required to worry. We are already habituated with that. Okay, our traditional foods already gone. Okay, we are habituated with. Any other things? I didn't expect this problem also. Any other? Ayyo. Can I spell out? Because exactly same thing is the marker interface. I'm not telling any other new things. Some people may have homesick problem also. Especially ladies, they may have this type of problem. Without my parents, we can't live alone. I can't live alone. Here Hyderabad, just within 3 hours, 4 hours or 6 hours or at least 10 hours I can reach my home. Okay, this, but every time traveling from the US is nothing but may not, money wise, distance wise is, that's why. So homesick problem, without my parents I can't live, is nothing but like some people may have this problem also. Some people may have XYZ problem also. Okay, sir, without her I can't live alone, or without him I can't live alone. Is nothing but in the Telugu movies especially. So heroine or hero is ready to start for the US, ready to start for the abroad for higher education or for job. Heroine is there. So in the last minute at the airport, hero or heroine came back. I can't go alone. Is nothing but I can't go. Is nothing but like there are several Telugu movies came, right? Any movie? Vakkadu. Same problem, right? Vakkadu. Suddenly Bhumika is going to be dropped from airport saying, I don't want Bhadra. Papa hero struggled like anything to provide. Suddenly in the last minute she is going to tell. Any other some more movie, I hope. I don't know. The climax of Toli Prema. Is it the same style? I don't know that. Anyway, I didn't say up to climax. Is the same, right? Like there are several movies are there. Sir, without her, I can't be alone. Or without him, I can't be alone. XYZ problem also there sometime. Sir, now my question is, take very special care. Okay. Sir, because of these problems, some problem, because of these problems, okay, so I'm not in a position to start my trials at New York City. Like everyone in the classroom can able to tell their own problems. His own problem they are going to tell. Maybe XYZ problem or homesick problem or vitamin M passport visa and so on. No one is there to provide guidance like this type of problem. That's why we are not in a position to start my trials in the New York City. At least in my dreams also, such a type of thought is nothing but I never got. Even at least thoughts wise also, I never got because of these many problems, right? Okay, so that's why no one in a classroom want to start trials in the New York City because one or some of these problems, right? Correct or not? Okay, now observe a bit very carefully, right? Sir, whatever the problem you are facing, whatever the problems stopping you to start your trials in the New York City, okay, believe me, each and every problem, whatever you are facing, yes, I am here to provide the support. Believe me, definitely I am going to provide the support. Sir, vitamin M is the problem. Until getting your first salary, is nothing ma, each and every paisa whatever required for you, is nothing but I will provide support, not required to worry at all. Okay, this is believe me, I will provide the support, not required to worry. Okay, this is example sake only, don't ask really after the class. Okay, example sake, up to few minutes, believe me. Okay, now see, so whatever money you required, not required to worry at all, is nothing but I will provide support for that. Okay, this forget about money problem. Second, sir, passport and visa, not required to worry at all. In the passport office, my known person is already there. Within 1 week span, you will get the passport. Sir, visa problem in the US embassy, already my known person is there. Is nothing but not required to worry. I will take care. My team is going to take care about passport and visa. Visa and passport no longer problem for you people. Is nothing but second. Third one, new environment. So there, our guest house is there, our supporters are there. Until getting your job or until getting habited at that new environment, each and every support is nothing but my team is going to take care. Guidance, next lodging, boarding, these type of problems not required to worry at all. Is nothing but until getting first salary or until advertising first 6 months, always someone is there to guide you there. Is nothing but well-known person is there like I want to provide support. Food problem, not required to worry at all. Next, homesick. If you feel really without your parents, you can't alone, not required to worry, bring your parents also. Is nothing but no problem at all. Sir, without XYZ, no issue at all, bring that XYZ also. Is nothing but like. If you are going to believe me, so I'm here to provide support each and every requirement whatever you have. How many of you start trials in the New York City? I'm sure everyone in the classroom can start your trials. Now my question is, what is the difference between approach 1 and approach 2? In approach 1, everything we have to take care. Everything is a big problem for me. That's why I don't want to take that risk. But in the approach 2, someone is there to provide support. Then everyone can able to utilize this opportunity. If really happening, everyone can able to utilize this opportunity, right? Correct or not? Okay, this is the same thing is happening even in the case of marker interface also. Okay, just assume. Okay, assume. Sir, one person from the London, he asked me, Durga, can you please send one object across a network? Can you please send one object across one student object across a network? Like one person from the London, he asked me. So from Hyderabad, I have to send an object to the London. Is nothing but like my requirement. I have to send an object to the London, right? Then I told simply, boss, I can't send object across a network. Sorry, don't mind, don't ask me like I told. Then immediately that person asked, Durga, why man? Can you please send very important? Can you please send this object across a network to the London like? Then I told, Array, I don't know how to convert this object into network supported form. If any network related issues are there, I don't know how to handle. Okay, n number of problems are there. Just to send one Java object, assume the 70 lakhs lines of the code is required. 70 lakhs lines of the code is required to send one object across the network. But to worst, that 70 lakhs lines of the code is nothing but 12 network related languages are required to involve. It's nothing. I don't know these network related languages, network related issues. I don't know how to convert this object into network supported form and so on. Don't ask me to send the object across the network. Sorry man, don't mind. So I can't send this object across the network. Like, if a programmer is responsible to do each and every activity, whatever required to send object across the network, then no programmer in a position to send object across the network. Because to send an object, how many lines of the code I require to write? 70 lakhs lines of the code. 12 network related languages I have to learn. Boss, I don't want to take that risk. I can't send that object across the network. Don't mind. I don't have that ability, like I told. Then immediately Java, some people analyze this type of problem. So because of lack of awareness of network related languages, or because of this complexity, Java programmer may not in a position to send object across the network. Then immediately what the some people did is they provided one assistant for us. Are you getting? They provided one assistant JVM. Boss, Durga, if you want to send an object across a network, you are not required to do anything. Total required ability my JVM is going to provide internally. Are you getting? Total required ability JVM is going to provide internally. But for which class objects you want that ability? For which class objects you want that ability? For that class, keep one word, implements what? Serializable. Implement serializable. Automatically for this class objects I can provide that ability. Internally, who is the responsible to provide ability? JVM is going to take care. Are you able to understand? In the case of marker interfaces, who is providing the required support for to get that ability? Is nothing but what answer you can able to tell? JVM, right? Are you able to understand? So why JVM providing the support? Sir, if JVM want to provide support, then who is responsible to write the code? Programmer. Complexity of the programming is going to be increased. Programmer may not be at that level. Are you getting? One wonderful utility we may miss. That's why to make Java language as simple, wherever this type of complexities are there, what the some people did is nothing but, so they provided special ability from the JVM in the form of marker interfaces, right? So marker interface main purpose is to reduce complexity of the programming and to make Java language as simple as possible. Are you getting? One buzzword of Java is nothing but Java is simple nursery standard language. To make Java as the nursery standard or simple language, some people provided this type of arrangement. Wherever complexities are there, is nothing but this type of arrangement is there. Are you able to understand? Internally, what is the main reason why the marker interface came into the picture? Is nothing but now the terminology is clear. To simplify complexity of the programming. Internally, who is the responsible to provide support for that? JVM is responsible. Clear for all of you, right? Okay, this is. So without having any methods, how the objects will get some ability in the case of marker interface? But the answer you can able to tell? Internally, JVM is responsible to provide required ability. Then immediately my next question, why JVM providing required ability in the case of marker interface? To reduce complexity of the programming and to make Java language as simple. Is it clear, right? Okay, at this point. What question you took? Can you spell out? Without having any methods, how the objects will get some ability in the case of marker interface? At the answer. At the answer. Okay. Internally, JVM is responsible. Internally, JVM is responsible. JVM is responsible to provide. Internally, JVM is responsible to provide required ability. Internally, JVM is responsible to provide required ability. Internally, JVM is responsible to provide required ability. JVM is responsible to provide required ability. Next point. Next question form. Why JVM is providing? Why JVM is providing required ability? Why JVM is providing required ability in marker interfaces? Why JVM providing required ability in marker interfaces? Why JVM providing required ability in marker interfaces? In marker interfaces. by JVM providing required ability in marker interfaces. Can you spell out what the answer Anna? To reduce complexity of programming, to reduce complexity of programming, and to make Java language, Java language as simple, that's all. Are you getting the point, right? So this is what is the marker interface internally, who is the responsible to provide support and so on. Now my last question from this area: is it possible to create our own marker interface? Ayyo, what the answer? Is it possible to create our own marker interface? Better to take question from. Is it possible to create our own marker interface? Is it possible to create our own marker interface? Marker interface. What the answer you can able to tell? So, what the answer? Ayyo, nothing is impossible, right? Nothing is impossible. There is no such type of word like impossible. Really, Anna, believe me. So, is it possible or not? Possible or not? 100% pakka. We can create our own marker interface, no problem at all. But here one small twist. Who is the responsible to provide required ability in the case of marker interface? JVM. So already existing JVM can provide support for serializable. Correct or not? Can provide support for clonable. Okay. Sir, tomorrow I want to implement my own marker interfaces like sleepable. My Java object can able to sleep. My Java object can able to jumpable. Okay, sleepable, jumpable. To provide support for this type of ability, sleeping ability I want to provide for my Java object. Jumpable ability I want to provide for my Java object. To provide such type of ability, existing JVM may not provide support. Tomorrow I want to design my own JVM, DJVM, right? This DJVM can provide support for all these four things. Is nothing but like. Are you able to get? Sir, JVM is not some proprietary. If you want, we can design our own JVM. Sir, for Tomcat, one type of JVM. For WebLogic, another type of JVM. WebLogic JVM is also known as JRocket, not from the sun. WebLogic JVM developed by BE people or otherwise Oracle people. Are you getting? So not from the sun. So make sure you, sir, is it possible to define our own marker interface? Yes, sir. But customization of JVM is required. Or if you want to design our own JVM can able to provide support for sleepable and jumpable interfaces, right? Are you able to understand? Sir, is it possible to create our own marker interface? What the answer? Yes. But customization of JVM must be required. How we can customize it? Not in programmer scope, not required to worry. But if you want, we can do that. No problem at all. It's not impossible. It's happily possible. If you want, we can design our own JVMs. Right? The product development teams are there. It's nothing but like product development teams like WebLogic people, Tomcat people, or otherwise WebSphere people. They are going to design their own JVMs. It's nothing but database server. They have their own JVM is there, not from the Sun proprietary. Right? Okay, this make sure you should add. What the answer? Yes. What question you took? Can you spell out once again? Is it possible to define or to create our own marker interface? Yes, but customization of JVM is required. Yes, but customization of JVM is required. Yes, but customization of JVM is required. But customization of JVM is required. Customization of JVM is required. That's all. Completed, right? So these are various important conclusions you people should be aware about marker interface. Right now I hope several doubts got clarified. What is marker interface? Can you give an example without having any methods how marker interface will get some ability? Next, and after that, how to define our own marker interface? Is it possible or not? Is nothing but like. Next, keep submitting. Next topic, adapter classes. Very simple concept, not required to break your heads. Very simple. Adapter classes. Adapter classes. Adapter classes. Adapter classes. Sir, what is adapter class? Simple programmer's trick is nothing but adapter class. Sir, let me explain what it means. Suppose I have, sir, one interface. I have one interface, X is there. An interface X is there. This interface contain M1 method is there, M2 method is there, M3 method is there, M1000 methods are there. M1000 methods are there. Sir, can you tell how many methods are there? How many methods are there? 1000 methods are there. Now my target is, sir, I want to implement X. I want to implement interface X. But I'm very much interested to provide implementation only for M3 method. Are you getting, sir? I want to implement X. But my requirement is only for M3 method, right? Now, what I will do here is, observe. Sir, class test implements, class test implements X. Sir, I'm very much eager, or my requirement is, I want to provide implementation only for M3 method. I want to provide implementation only for what? M3 method, right? Sir, now, can you tell if the code is going to compile or not? If I can take like compile time error. Because whenever we are implementing an interface, for each and every method of that interface, compulsory we should provide implementation. Sir, otherwise declare class as abstract. If I declare class as abstract, then at least in the child we should provide. Sir, instead of that, compulsory we should provide implementation for all methods, whether you are interested or not interested. That's why what I have to take? M1, at least M2 implementation. M1, what is the next one? M2, next M4, okay, M1000, like this. Sir, required implementation is only 10 lines. Required implementation only 10 lines. But how many lines of the code extra? We wrote 999 lines of the code. Are you getting? So the problem with this approach is nothing man, readability is going to be down. Okay, this is because for one method say 999 dummy methods we require to implement is nothing man, length of the code is going to increase and readability is going to be down, and it's very difficult to the programmer every time providing 1000 methods implementation compulsory. Are you able to understand? So if we implement an interface directly, for each and every method of that interface, compulsory we should provide implementation, whether it is required or not required, whether you are interested or not interested. So readability of the code is going to be down, and the length of the code is going to be increased, complexity of the programming is going to be increased, right? To solve this problem, one small programmer's trick is nothing but adapter class. Are you getting right? Sir, how we can use adapter, or what is the adapter first? Simple, here legend this point well. What is the adapter class? Adapter class is a simple normal Java class. It's a normal class that implements an interface with only empty implementation. Regarding each and every method is the empty implementation only. Sir, now class adapter X. Any name you can take, need not be adapter word. Any name, class adapter X. Implements class adapter X implements X. Class adapter X implements X. Now I'm taking M1 method empty implementation, M2 method empty implementation, M3 method empty implementation, M4 method, M5 method. Are you getting? like m1000 method empty implementation, right? Sir, it is adapter. Adapter class is a normal Java class that implements an interface with only empty implementation, right? Then immediately you may ask, sir, if with only empty implementation, what thing you can able to get? Simple word here, just observe. Are you able to understand, right? Now tomorrow my requirement is, sir, I want to implement X. My requirement is I want to implement X, but I am interested to implement only M3 method. Array, if it is the requirement, don't implement X. Better to extend the adapter class. Sir, class test extends adapter X. Extends adapter X. Sir, here observe, test is child class of adapter X. Adapter X. Adapter X implements what? Implements X. That's why indirectly test implements X only. Okay, that rule is there. Indirectly test implements X. So there is no change in the rule. Valid it is. So now if I extend adapter X, for which method you want to provide implementation? Sir, my requirement only M3. Array, provide implementation only for M3 method. Only for M3. Remaining methods we are not required to implement. Are you getting? Automatical remaining methods by default is going to come to test a class from the parent through inheritance, right? Okay, this is same. Sir, after few minutes my requirement is class sample extends adapter X. Extends adapter X. Sir, this time my requirement is M7 implementation. Class sample extends adapter X, M7 implementation. Next class sample, okay, class demo extends adapter X. Extends adapter X. M1000 method, this time my requirement write like this. Are you getting? Sir, how many times we are writing adapter class? Only once. But how many times we are using adapter class? So 3 times. Are you getting? Suppose assume adapter class concept is not there. Not there. Such type of trick is not there. Then class test implements X. How many methods I should provide implementation? 1000. Class sample implements X. How many methods I should write? 1000. Here also 1000. Unnecessary. Length of the code is going to increase and so on. Such type of problem happily we can solve by using which concept? Adapter class. Are you getting? So is it advantage feature or not? Yes. Adapter class is a small programmer's trick. Okay, this is programmer's trick. It is not language level feature. It is the approach. One programmer's trick to solve this type of problems, right? Are you getting? But here one small last point. Sir, inside adapter class, every method has empty implementation. Inside adapter class, every method has empty implementation. If every method has empty implementation, sir, only empty implementation is there. Okay. Now my requirement is, if I create an object for this class, if I call any of these method, what response I'm going to get? Nothing. Are you getting? Sir, I'm creating an object for this class, and if I'm calling this any of this method, what response? Nothing. Then what is the use of creating an object and calling these methods? Waste. Even though implementation is there, but this implementation is a dummy implementation. Creating an object and calling these methods are waste. That's why highly recommended to declare adapter class as abstract. Are you getting? In the last class somewhere I covered, within abstract class there may be a chance of 0 number of abstract method. Is there any abstract method? No, every method is concrete, but that concrete implementation is the dummy implementation. In that particular case, happily you can declare class as abstract. Abstract class can contain 0 number of abstract methods, right? Are you able to understand? Sir, what is adapter? What is the advantage of that? Keep submitting. Adapter classes. Adapter class. Okay, adapter class is adapter class is a simple Java class. Adapter class is a simple Java class. Adapter class is a simple Java class. Simple Java class. Java class that implements an interface. Adapter class is a simple Java class that implements an interface. That implements an interface with only with only empty implementation, that implements an interface with only empty implementation, with only empty implementation, that implements an interface with only empty implementation, only empty implementation, with only empty implementation. Okay, this is. So first take this code, take this one and listen this interface and then this adapter class. Take first this one and then take this part and then second part like. So what is adapter class? You people should have clear clarity. Adapter class is a simple Java class that implements an interface with only empty implementation. Interface X, M1, M2, M3 dot M1000. Only first one and this one. Completed, I hope. Adapter class. Okay. Clear for you people anyway, right? Adapter class is a simple Java class that implements an interface with only empty implementation. Okay, have we took this part right? Okay, next para, add the theory. If we implement an interface, for each and every method of that interface, compulsory we should provide implementation. Compulsory we should provide implementation, whether it is required or not required. Whether it is required or not required. Okay, take this part, whether it is required or not required, and then take this part, this third one, class test. This part, class test implements X. Class test implements X. M3 class test implements X M3. So how many lines of the code? 10 lines of the code is there. Class test implements X. 10 lines of the code. M1, M2, M4 dot M1000. I hope is clear. Only this part. Okay. After completing it, the problem in this approach is it increases. The problem in this approach is it increases length of the code. It increases length of the code and reduces readability. It increases length of the code and reduces readability. Increases length of the code and reduces readability. Increases length of the code and reduces readability. Okay, this is next. We can solve this problem. By using adapter classes. We can solve this problem by using adapter classes. We can solve this problem by using adapter classes. Okay. Next, instead of implementing interface instead of implementing interface, if we extend adapter class, instead of implementing interface, if we extend adapter class, if we extend adapter class for if we extend adapter class, we have to provide implementation. We have to provide implementation only for required methods. We have to provide implementation only for required methods. Only for required methods. We have to provide implementation only for required methods. And we are not responsible. To provide implementation. For each and every method of interface. We are not responsible to provide implementation for each and every method. Of the interface. We are not responsible to provide implementation for each and every method of the interface. So that length of the code will be reduced. Okay, take this example. This part, fourth one. Take this part. So better to take that diagram also. So completed, right? So that's all. Are you seeing advantage of adapter class? Is it advantage feature or not? Yes, definitely. I hope you people can aware now. Now just observe. Sir, can you give an example where this type of concept we are using? Okay, this is where this type of concept we are using. So let me explain one simple example so that you will get really adapter classes is the useful feature to the programmer. Okay. So I hope you people may aware servlets, at least few students may aware servlet programming, right? Okay. Now observe, sir, in how many ways we can develop a servlet? There are 3 ways. Very important question for entry room. In how many ways we can develop a servlet? 3 ways are there. First way, okay, of course here servlet interface is there. Are you getting? Servlet interface is there. The servlet interface implemented by generic servlet, which is the abstract class, because generic servlet provides implementation for each and every method of servlet interface except service method, right? Now for the generic servlet, HTTP servlet is the child, okay, which is also of course abstract class, which doesn't contain any method, any abstract method, but still abstract because implementation is not complete. Dummy implementation, error message sending only implementation is there for most of the methods. Sir, this is my servlet. This is class my servlet. Extends is nothing. This servlet we can develop in how many ways? Okay. So in how many ways we can write a servlet? 3 ways. One way, implement servlet interface. Second way, extend a generic servlet. Third way, extends a HTTP servlet. Are getting? In how many ways we can develop a servlet? 3 ways. We can implement servlet interface, extends a generic servlet, extends HTTP servlet, right? So total 3 ways are there. Now my question is, observe. If I implement a servlet interface directly, for each and every method of servlet interface we have to provide implementation. In the servlet interface, how many methods are there? Oh, 5 methods. 7? Servlet interface contains 7 methods. A servlet, are you talking about Java X dot servlet dot? Servlet only, right? Java X dot, okay, 5 methods. Init, service, destroy, get servlet config, get servlet info. Are you getting get servlet config? Get servlet info is nothing but like how many methods are there in the servlet interface? 5 methods, right? Are you getting? So for all these 5 methods, whether we are interested or not interested, compulsory we should provide implementation. Sir, I am not having any initialization activity. Array, whether you have or not, first write init method, then only I can compile. I am not having any cleanup activities, whether you have or not, you should write destroy method, like is always a problem. So that's why this approach no one is going to use. Are you getting? At least your first demo program also, you never have the dare to implement servlet interface directly. Most of the times we should go for either generic servlet or HTTP servlet only. If I extend a generic servlet, because generic servlet already provides implementation for all methods of servlet interface except service method. If I extend a generic servlet, for how many methods I have to provide implementation? Only one method. What is that method? Is service method only. The remaining 4 methods happily by default available from parent to child. Are you getting? Sir, generic servlet already contain the method. The remaining 4 methods by default available to my servlet. We are not required to provide implementation for the remaining. Only for service method is enough. Are you getting? That's why can I use the term generic servlet acts as adapter class for servlet interface. Instead of implementing servlet interface, we can extend what? We can extend what? Generic servlet. Generic servlet already implements servlet interface with the 4 methods and so on. More or less, generic servlet acts as adapter class for servlet interface, right? Can I use the term? Okay, this is first at this point. Add. We can develop a servlet. We can develop a servlet. Example, we can develop a servlet in the following 3 ways. We can develop a servlet in the following 3 ways. 3 ways. In the following 3 ways. 3 ways. First one, by implementing servlet interface. By implementing servlet interface. Second one, by extending, by implementing servlet interface. Second, by extending generic servlet. By extending generic servlet. Third one, by extending HTTP servlet. By extending HTTP servlet. Sir, better to take this diagram first. Take just beside this, take this diagram. We can develop a servlet in the following 3 ways. By implementing servlet interface, by extending generic servlet, by extending HTTP servlet. Generic servlet by extending HTTP servlet. Completed, I hope. By extending HTTP servlet, like clear for all of you, right? By implementing servlet interface, by extending generic servlet, by extending HTTP servlet, right? Okay, total how many methods are there? So 3 ways, by 3 ways. Next, at this point, if we implement servlet interface, servlet interface for each and every method, of that interface, we should provide implementation. it increases length of the code, it increases length of the code, it increases length of the code and reduces readability. It increases length of the code and reduces readability. It increases length of the code and reduces readability. Increases length of the code and reduces readability. Okay, that's all. Are you getting? Next para. Instead of implementing servlet interface directly, instead of implementing servlet interface directly, if we extend generic servlet, we have to provide implementation only for service method. We have to provide implementation only for service method. And all remaining methods are for all remaining methods we are not required to provide implementation. And for all remaining methods we are not required to provide implementation. Hence more or less what is the meaning of more or less ana koncham atu ituga. Okay, this is in Telugu. More or less. Okay, more or less generic servlet acts as adapter class. Generic servlet acts as adapter class for servlet interface. Generic servlet acts as adapter class for servlet interface. That's all. Are you able to understand why I used the word more or less? Simple. Strictly speaking, adapter class contain only the methods with the empty implementation. But in the generic servlet, beautiful implementation is there in some methods. Are you getting that? Okay, it's not empty. So wonderful implementation is there, useful implementation is there. That's why I can't use the term 100% generic servlet is adapter class, but more or less concept is the same. So instead of implementing servlet interface, if I extend generic servlet, we require to provide implementation only for service method. That's all. Is nothing but it hides complexity. Is nothing but programmer life will become easy, right? Clear for all of you? Okay, this is next note. Sir, can I use the term marker interface is a big utility to the programmer or not? It's a big asset to the programmer. Next, adapter class concept is asset to the programmer or not? Programmer life is going to be simplified with these concepts, right? Okay, take a note. Marker interface and adapter classes. Marker interface and adapter classes. Marker interface and adapter classes. Marker interface and adapter classes simplifies complexity of programming. Simplifies complexity of programming. Simplifies complexity of programming. Okay, under these are best utilities to the programmer. Under these are best utilities to the programmer. Under these are best utilities to the programmer. Best utilities to the programmer. And the programmer's life will become simple. And the programmer's life will become simple. And the programmer's life will become simple. Programmer's life will become simple.